Hi, this is Randy Randall of No Age and host of the podcast Hyphenate with Randy Randall. I want to welcome our newest sponsor of the show, DistroKid. DistroKid helps musicians get their music on all the major streaming platforms, and artists keep 100% of their royalties. Hyphenate listeners get 30% off at distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate. Again, that's distrokid.com/VIP/HYPHENATE. Go get your music streaming everywhere now. We'd like to thank our sponsor, iZotope, the absolute leaders in intuitively designed plugins for audio restoration, mixing, and mastering. At iZotope.com, you'll find a plethora of tools and suites that will enhance your audio production, whether it's voice, video, podcast, or a full production recording session. Check out the industry-standard audio repair tool, RX11, or the multi-tool mixer plugin, Neutron 5, or the powerful Ozone 11 mastering suite, plus tons more. Go to iZotope.com and use the code FRET10 at checkout for 10% off. That's FRET10 to get 10% off at checkout. And again, the website is iZotope.com, iZotope.com. Welcome to Hyphenate Halftime with me, your host, Randy Randall. This is our show for Monday, April 21st. Joining me, as always, Mr. Aaron Farley. How are you doing today on this Monday, April 21st?
I am doing well. I was just outside fixing a fence.
Fixing a fence?
Yeah.
Sounds like a very outside thing to do.
Yes. I was not being offensive, but I was fixing a fence.
Fenceable?
I was not dealing with a fence.
Was it a fence?
Well, I was dealing with a fence.
You're on defense.
Yes, I was on defense.
How many bad dad joke fence dad jokes can we make?
Oh my God! It turns out there's a lot of them.
You give a dog a bone like that. Wow, we got to chew on that thing for 45 minutes. Wait a second.
I've written a whole book about fence jokes.
Fencing? I mean, it just goes on and on.
I don't know if I want to publish it or not. I'm on the fence.
Hey! Awesome, man.
How you doing?
Yeah. I'm good. I had, let's see. Well, this is a visual medium. I had surgery on my hand.
Yeah.
It's good. It's my right hand. It's my picking hand. And it was voluntary. It was something I needed to do. Had a trigger finger going on, and both thumbs and both pointer fingers for like the last, 4 years. Yeah. And, man, yeah, they got to the point with the pointer finger on the right hand that they just said, well, there's no more shots, no more over-the-counter stuff. We just got to go in for the surgery. So I did that last Thursday.
When you were getting shots, was it, did it actually allow you to move it, or did it just not hurt?
No, the shots are great. They totally oiled it up. It was like it greased the knuckle again.
That's so
and I could
weird.
Move it. It would take about a week or, maybe 2 weeks to be fully back to where it was before. It was a problem.
And it was cortisone or what?
I think so.
What does that even do? I thought cortisone was just I got cortisone put in my toe once. And
did it do what it's supposed to do? I feel like it's like a miracle drug. I think they just put it everywhere. And you can
I know athletes use it all the time, right? When they have a sore shoulder, and just just give them some cortisone shots.
Yeah, I just got one of those for my shoulder
does.
too. The day after I did the hand surgery, I had my shoulder follow-up. They said no surgery needed for the shoulder, which already has surgery on it. I was going to have to do the resurgery. I've just kind of
really
been going into just all the stuff. Just hurts, I think it's part of the 40s.
You're one of the only people I know that actually is very good at using their insurance.
I don't know if I use it.
You do use it a lot. I feel like I have insurance and I'm like, I should go get this thing checked out. I'm like, God, it just seems so difficult. I don't know.
It is. It always is.
I got to do this thing. And you're always like, nope, meeting. I went to the doctor and I got a thing. I'm ready to go. I'm getting my surgery.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I was thinking about going to the doctor 6 months ago and I've been thinking about it every day since. I still haven't gone.
Yeah. Well, I've had a little bit of time in my schedule. So it's okay, this is probably for a reason. Instead of pissing and moaning and kicking rocks while filling out job applications, I'll fill out a job application, then go call the doctor, get something looked at, get something checked out. and then just do follow-ups, and then you got to schedule again with somebody to follow up for. So you got to do the consult, then they got to take the test,
God,
and then you got to follow up on the test. Now you're 3 months in, you're 4 months in, and that's the thing is like once you get down the road with it, it's like I don't want to stop.
No,
because if I reschedule it or if I stop going to one of them, then I just won't go for another like 12 years.
And who knows? They like one of those places. If you don't get it done now, they're gonna just kick you off your insurance anyway. At some point, like I feel like that happens where it's like, oh well, we actually just stopped doing this medical group.
Right.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
we just don't take that insurance anymore. I'm like, well, I have an appointment though. I'm like, well, not anymore though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
6 months out, and the 6 months from when we booked it to when you showed up.
Well, that's what happened too when I was having those like neck problems. Again, this is old dad's radio. This one time I woke up, my knees hurt. No, but
that was 1994.
Yeah, and I had this crazy pain in my like back, like my shoulder, neck, and everything, and my left arm was like going dead. Oh. It was just like when your arm goes to sleep.
Yeah.
But I was just standing. I wasn't like laying on it or anything, and all of a sudden it would just go
a heart attack or something or stroke.
Just and it was out of no. It just would go. I'm like, oh, can't feel my hand really, and then it would loosen up, and I'm like, okay, and
is that what that
but
was?
I went to make an appointment at the doctor, and they were like, this was in January, and she's like, okay, so we like March 4th, and I was like, March 4th? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's
it hurts right. It's really hurting right now.
It's April now. Like, how am I going to come back?
She's like, well, do you think you need to go to the emergency room? And I'm like, I mean, probably, I don't know. Probably not. I don't want to spend my copay for the emergency room is like $200. I don't want to spend that to have them go, probably got a pinched nerve, buddy. Maybe you should stretch.
Go see a specialist. What do you call a specialist?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, well, we'll go see a specialist. Oh, I can just go see a specialist. Well, no, you can't. You actually have to go to your first doctor to get
GP
them to write you. Yeah. And I'm like, well, they're the ones that told me I couldn't come in till March. And they're like, womp, womp. Yeah. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
I think I actually have pretty okay insurance. I don't have the worst. I have one right in the middle.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
But so I ended up just going. I found out I have a chiropractor. I could go to the chiropractor for $10 because my insurance covered the rest. It actually covers that. And I'm like, oh, this is what they do. So they're like, no. Go, like, make him go to the chiropractor, and it'll probably feel a little better, maybe. And I don't know. Now it happens like once a week, maybe instead of like 5 times a day. So I'm good. And I know how to. I'm like, when it happens, I go, oh, move your head, move your neck to the right a little bit. Okay, hold on.
There it is.
Oh, just a little bit. Okay, it's going away. Okay.
Stretching.
Mild pain, just mild pain.
And the arm numbness is gone away.
I mean, I can't tell if I'm just kind of getting used to the like the baseline. Like my baseline is just a little higher, and I've just gotten used to it. It's actually gone away.
That's the hard question of is this just new pain? I'll just learn to live with this pain for a while, or is this something I actually have to, like, when they say, oh, it's gonna feel better. It's like, well, better than like it does now, or like better than it did before this started to feel bad. Like, oh no, you're still old. It's still gonna still filled with arthritis and inflammation and bursitis. And
on a 1 to 10 scale, how do you feel when you're feeling great?
Yeah,
with 1 being the best. About a 5.
Yeah.
When I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm not shuffling my feet to the bathroom in the morning.
Is this a complaint that like
this is my baseline now, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. Like, when do you know your baseline has just changed? When you've leveled up a baseline of just discomfort and don't do this. It hurts when I do this. Don't do this. Kind of thing. Like,
the thing is, I don't feel like I remember the past.
It hurts in 2 places. Go to the doctor, say your arm hurts in 2 places. Well, don't go to those places.
There you go.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, psh,
hey.
Ba-dum, psh. We need a little effects board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Effects board. That's the next thing.
Oh, we gotta put that on here. Oh wait, do I have one? Wait a second.
Can you play sounds through your computer? No.
Oh, I'm previewing it. Okay, let's see if we can go live.
Oh, that worked. Yeah. Uh-oh. We're gonna have an amazing effects board.
I've discovered the effects board. Hold on. Wait a second.
Yeah, turn it down a little. Yeah, there you go.
Life just
We've
got a lot more
leveled up.
interesting. Oh yeah, drum joke. There we go.
Oh,
Oh
perfect.
no, dad
There you go.
jokes and a soundboard. I had no
Nice.
idea they had this in here.
Oh my god, this is actually in Riverside.
I get. Yeah, this is something.
Oh wow, can we both do it? Can we both?
Do you have
can we
a
have
media
dueling?
bar? Do you have a media bar on your side there? No, I don't know if you have it as a guest.
I don't think so.
I think
As a
call on
guest,
me.
yeah. You don't want to give this to a guest. You don't know how many beers they've
Oh my
had.
God,
You don't know.
okay.
You don't know where they're at.
I think I can upload more too. Okay, stay tuned.
Next
for more
week.
dumb shit coming.
I only have to pay $59.99 for the Star Wars theme.
For the package. Well, remember when you had to buy ringtones
On
your phone,
Oh my
on your
God.
cell phone? I remember I spent like $5 on a Tatooine or on the on the Jawas, like Houdini. It was great. I had that for a tour. And just every time my phone rang, it was like the Jawa sound.
The best thing is you have that somewhere. Like that's
Oh, like I still own it. That's technically
that's like
purchase.
in a
It's digital
folder,
purchase. Yes.
a digital purchase somewhere with your name on it. That is just this sitting. I wonder if it's in your iTunes.
I'll find it. Oh, and I will
That's
load it.
funny.
I will load it onto here. This will be.
Whee!
I had no idea I could have a whole.
Oh man,
sound,
when we
sound
when
pad.
we used to do our radio show, Jeremy always he had an amazing soundboard
Oh really?
that he worked on for years, and we would have like
It's not the
it got to the
Tuma.
yeah it got to the point to where there were like multiple inside jokks with the soundboard. It was very
like the
Howard Stern
third host, Baba
Yes.
Booey. Baba
Oh
Booey.
yeah, totally. It was good times. Kids would like the
Send
kids
in
that were
ones.
digitally savvy would send us stuff for the soundboard. and
Oh my God.
everything.
Yes. Send us stuff for our soundboard. Hyphenate halftime at gmail.com. Send us links.
Can you
to,
upload?
yeah, I think so. I think you can upload media. It
man.
says here
We're in it.
we're in trouble. I'm assuming these are just waves. I need bad soundboard waves. All the Austin Powers ones. All the Matrix. Oh, it's terrible.
Oh my God. It's fun times.
We had a
the
great
digital
guest on last week.
Oh my God. She was
Ella.
amazing.
How fun was that, right?
She was amazing. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Have you seen
and I
her
love,
on Instagram and her
No, I
like, stories
hadn't.
and lessons? Oh, you have to follow her.
Well,
Ella
so
Feingold. It's
yeah, when you guys started talking, it was like a couple minutes in, and then when she was like, yeah, when I was on tour or recording with Bootsy Collins, I was like paused it and I went, okay, wait, I got to go see the Instagram. I didn't know what I was being prepared for, and Unreal.
Yeah.
Silk Sonic. I like that Silk Sonic record.
Incredible.
It's good.
Yeah.
The local who's the other artist on Silk
Anderson
Sonic?
.Paak.
Anderson .Paak from
Bruno Mars.
Yeah, Anderson .Paak's from like the just outside the Ventura area,
Oh,
I believe.
I don't know.
Yeah. Supposedly local boy, local guy, local kid, Anderson .Paak.
You mean Los Angeles resident and multimillionaire Anderson .Paak? I think that's what you mean.
Yeah, no, I only knew that because someone who I used to work with, who was an assistant, was like, "Oh man, I grew up with that kid."
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and he was like,
That's
"Oh,
hilarious.
yeah, that kid." Oh yeah, everybody knew.
That's awesome.
But,
Yeah, Ella was somebody that popped up on my Instagram and social media stuff. Just always, I'm always looking for guitar things, or just always searching different guitar videos or gear reviews or just new gear things or new just whatever guitar jokes and memes and things. And she popped up and she was doing like teaching, like she would like teach these like kind of like the finesse of like a funk riff, or like the rhythms of things and like how different players would play different licks and things. I was just like, wow, like how is this so like informed and entertaining and so specific and so dialed in? And then I started following her and it was always like so cool. And then just learning more about her story as a trans woman and just, having visibility out there, but also just her accomplishments in the music world and everything. It was just I'm like, this is incredible. I'm a fan of all of this. This is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, and she just had, I loved when the stories would just be like, I was sitting down with Questlove from the Roots and like, wait, like this, she's like legit.
Yes.
Like she's
Yeah,
in the crew that every single person wants to be in. If you're playing anything close to like soul, funk, R&B, like she's literally in
yeah.
the one
Huge.
crew. Yeah,
She's huge.
the D'Angelo crew.
Right. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
in the one.
I mean,
She's
it's
like,
definitely beyond my level and my sort of fandom of the music, as well. Like I just, I know what I know, but I'm definitely not as dialed in to that scene. Obviously.
well, the fact that I feel now that I'm one step closer to being like within the 6 degrees of separation of Erykah Badu is like a
makes you
massive.
way cooler.
I'm a huge Erykah Badu fan. Have you ever watched her videos on YouTube? Erykah Badu?
I don't know, like music videos or like live. I've seen
No,
some.
she
Live
does like
footage.
live music. Like she'll just sit with like do. Just look them up. Like look up
Okay.
look up YouTube on YouTube. Just Erykah Badu live.
Okay.
And
She just plays live from her house.
I can't
Okay.
really explain it. It's like psychedelic, amazing, freestyle, freeform, like like everything. Yeah,
Whoa.
it's the best.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it sounds like Ella is right in there too as like a musical director, orchestrator,
Yeah,
playing live band. That's so cool.
yeah, and I just love that. Let me see if I can find I feel like I need to send you a link. Let me see.
Yeah, so many things pop up. But yeah, Ella was awesome, and it was I think most of the people I reach out to interview, it's like through friends, people that I already know or friends of friends. But I just kept seeing Ella's stories and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if she would have the time or if she'd be interested in coming on the show. So I reached out through Instagram, and she was so nice to schedule it. But she's on the East Coast and I'm in LA, and I totally messed up. I'd put down for 12 noon, which was 12 noon her time. And I totally messed up the time. I was very unprofessional. And again, I just haven't had, somebody in a different time zone in a few months. And so I just totally just biffed it. And I was like waiting here, like, okay, 12 noon, I got a podcast. 12 noon, I got a podcast. And then I'm like, oh wait, no, that's 9 a.m. for me. Like, fuck. It was like 9:30. No. I totally just biffed it. And I wrote her back. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm here now. Like I was just kind of cruising, checking my email. Like, what? I knew I had to be there. Like there was a part of my brain, like, you're supposed to be on right now, dummy.
Yeah.
Don't forget this. But
well, she seemed, I loved all of the info and all of her guitar. I don't know. I love it when someone is so just 100% in to, like, obviously you have to be when you're at that level, but then just like when she's talking about all the people she's working with and the styles of like tonal styles she's looking for, and like her backwards tuning and like just all of those little things of like that you're just listening to somebody who's just like 100% pro and is just ready to go.
I think she said she was going to Berklee School of Music as well, but then dropped out in order to get the apprenticeship with her mentor. And I was like, that makes total sense.
Like got an email and was like, okay, I'm done with college. I mean, that's insane.
It's time to
like
get real. Let's do this.
Yeah, but it's also like what an amazing like to have that kind of confidence, I guess, to like when you're that young, to be like, oh, I'm gonna go get an apprenticeship with this person I really respect for like a month or whatever. It wasn't very long, and that it's like, well, that's good enough for me to just quit college. I would never do that. So,
but I think it's so like
I love when someone has
here.
that confidence.
Yeah, like when you see that opportunity to really get real life experience, that's the thing that college can never really prepare you for. At some point it's all theoretical or academic, or it's in your brain, and you need that real world hands-on doing the job that you want to do.
But a lot of people don't have the confidence to take those chances.
Right.
Because it's a pretty big chance.
Sure.
To be like, you know what, I've put all this time into college and it's really hard to get into Berklee School of Music, and it's like you're in it there as well, and to just quit that and go, no, I'm going to go learn from this guy. And for that to be the right thing, and to put her on like this path that she like it would have probably taken years after finishing college to actually like, okay, now I have to go meet people now, like to take that chance and have it be like a good decision. I feel like you don't actually hear that working out all that often.
Right. Yeah.
You hear the guys like, guys, I'm in this band. I'm going to go on tour. I'm going to quit college. Guys, we're going to New York. And then 3 weeks later, like the band, like you're like, oh my God, those guys are dirtbags. And one guy's doing a ton of
Stole all
coke,
my money.
stole all the money. I don't even have an instrument anymore because I had to hawk it to get a bus ticket back home.
Yeah.
I think that's more of the story that you actually hear. So
the normal music business success story.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was this, the same for me. Even, I kept wanting to drop out of college, and my poor mom and brother would have to talk to me, September of every year, for those last 3 years. The first one, I didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of walked into it, face first, and then like, oh, okay, wait, I don't want to be here. This isn't for me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But then it was like, no, you're almost there. You only got 3 years left. You only got 2 years left. It's just one more year. Don't stop. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's so hard. And then as soon as I was done, we went on tour. And it was really like kind of focused me. If anything, it was that kind of feeling of like, all right, I'm in school, but I know this isn't a career path for me if this isn't where my passion is.
Yeah.
But if I have all this time in school, then I got to spend all the rest of the time pursuing those passions. I had to get focused on what it was I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Once school was over with. And I think that kind of put me in that direction, sort of gave me a focus and a push. And so it was just going to shows and playing music as much as possible and always practicing. And because I knew that was what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because every time I would go to school, and it's like I would read books. It was fine. It was obviously wasn't torturous, but it just wasn't. I just couldn't imagine like getting a job at a lab.
Yeah.
Or like I was trying to figure out like, well, what's the next step you would take from college here, or like some kind of business world. Everything I did, I was just like, this isn't me. This is the world of music. And then even going to work at Amoeba Records after college, I feel was kind of like the postdoctoral work for my major, stuff that's like, okay, well, this is my graduate school. I'm like really just getting to work with real record nerds.
Yeah.
And just be around real record people and music people.
Were you
like
a film major?
No. So I ended up becoming a linguistics major. It was like the cool studies, the College of Language Arts and Science. It was kind of the humanities.
Yeah.
I had a bachelor's of science in linguistics. I wanted to go to film school, but it was the kind of thing that I went in undeclared, thinking it'd be easier to transfer in. And then once then for freshman year, I started taking all the classes, all the electives. And then I kind of realized it wasn't really where I wanted to be. Yeah. Just the film school at USC was a very kind of commercial place, which is good, which is smart. If you're going to spend all that money going to film school, you should learn how to make blockbuster movies. Like Robert Zemeckis movies.
Yes.
And that was not what I wanted to do with my angry punk 20s. I wanted to learn how to do sound at the smell. I wanted to live in a van and play in basements and, put out 7-inch records.
Yeah.
That was where I felt more comfortable than trying to pretend that, whatever the new Jay Roach movie was, like Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers. I think
Meet the Fockers.
He came. Jay Roach. I'm picking on him specifically because he came to the film school and like presented his movie because his son was going to the film school then, and like had a Q&A. And I remember just being so offended, like, fuck this guy. Meet the Fockers too. Fuck this guy. Like, this is what you're trying to teach people how to make movies like this. Like, you think you have to go to school to learn this bullshit? Like,
that's so funny.
It just felt so like shallow, and I was just brooding with art and seriousness and passion and angst and anger. I didn't have time for that.
I thought Ben Stiller directed that. He didn't direct. No. Did he direct Meet the Parents?
I don't think so.
Or is he just an actor?
I think he was just an actor on that one.
Oh, that's funny. I always assumed he directed those. Yeah. I love that. I love learning, Randy. I love
this is what we came here for, right? Yeah.
Yes.
No, Jay Roach, I think, also directed the Austin Power movies.
Oh, okay.
So, but he was the kind of guy, you know, what was it? Yeah, Austin Powers, Meet the Parents, Dinner for Schmucks, The Campaign, Trumbo, and Bombshell. I think he was in that comedy world. But
I mean,
anyway.
the thing is that I think that.
Oh, but he married Susanna Haas from the Bengals. That's what he did, right?
Oh, well, that's the most important.
Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say that I think, and this comes back to your conversation with Ella, is that I do think that this is why art is so important, because it gives these creative people who may not even know that they're creative, they just think they're weird, or they're like, they grow up thinking like, why do I feel so different than everybody else? And like all this thing, this when you support the arts and music and film and all these things, all of a sudden all of these kids find this spot and they go, oh, I'm not weird, or I am weird, but also there's an outlet for this thing. And I just have like, I feel a lot of things, and I need, and in a normal world or corporate world or business, whatever, that's just not accepted, because people are trying, like, we don't have time for this. We're trying to make money, right?
Yeah.
Which is legitimate.
Yeah.
Like, you don't necessarily need a bunch of artists in your doctor's office going like, well, you know, I mean, do you need a hand? Do we need hands? Do all of us need hands? Like, what if you had one hand? Do you want to do an experiment? I have this thing I'm thinking, right? Yeah. Like, you don't need that
sure.
guy.
Yeah.
Do you, like, let's let the artist worry about hands and make paintings out of it, or whatever. Like, what are limbs? You know, are they trees? Are we trees? Are we all trees, Randy? I mean, are we living? What is a rock? Is a rock living? Like, is a cell a life? Whatever. Like, you need a place for those people because that's also important, because those things end up being important as whatever, but they're important.
Sure.
But I think that in these, like, college and whatever, it's like, if you don't have those artistic places, and you don't have those places for someone who feels very different than everybody around them to, like, experiment with weird ideas, then you just get this, like, sadness. I think, you know, and I do think, like I just with some of the kids at the high school up here were having trouble with one of the creative programs up there, and they just made this big plea to the school board, and it's like, someone sent me the link to it, and they just made this plea of like, I came into here wanting to do this thing, and the teachers aren't supporting us, and we've tried to talk, and they said, this is what the real world is like, you know. And you hear these kids that are like, I literally just wanted to make a movie. Like, I wanted to make a movie in high school, and I'm like not getting supported, because, and there's all these the football team gets support, and the cheerleaders get support, and everybody else gets support, and I'm sitting here thinking that I'm supposed to want to make a movie, and people are going like, well, get over it, you don't get to make a movie, or whatever. And you're hearing these kids,
non-value.
Yeah, and they're like 16, 17, 18, and they're like, wait, am I crazy? I'm like, no, you're not. You're just unsupported. Which also, welcome to being an artist.
Yeah.
But that is like, but listening to someone with that much passion, who's just like a creative kid that's like, I just wanted someone to tell me how to edit, you know, or whatever, like, tell me. And I think, like, and listening, you know, to you and Ella talk back and forth about, like, yeah, I picked up a guitar when I was 13, and I was like, oh, this is the thing. This is like filling that hole of, like, this thing I didn't even know I needed, but now I get it, and I'm like, oh no, this is me for the rest of my life. Got it. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I think just having a path or a passion, or, you know what I mean, an area of interest that you can just really throw yourself into, you know, I think is one of the things I feel most fortunate about in life, from that early age of just knowing music was it for me. Like I didn't really question it. I questioned if I was any good at it, but in terms of my belief and my passion, my love for it, that was pretty unwavering from an early age. And I not to say things couldn't have gone a million different ways, but I always had that feeling, I still feel that way, like just connected to a song or something, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's childish in some ways, or that's something that, everybody feels and then stops feeling, and they just go, oh yeah, but then there's other things happened. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I just always held on to it.
Well, and I think you're probably right that it's childish or childlike or whatever, but I think that art and creativity, it's like every kid in grade school will draw.
Right.
Yeah, and they don't feel weird about it. Like in first, second, kindergarten through maybe third or fourth grade, it's like, draw a car. And everyone's like, okay, yeah, I know how to draw a car.
Yeah.
Draw a car or whatever. And it doesn't take till they're a little bit older where some people have told them they're not good at it, or they start, your brain develops and you start feeling shame about certain things. And you're like, I see that person's better than me, so I'm not going to do that thing. Or someone told me that I wasn't an artist or whatever. And then you watch that go away. And I think that those kids that stick with it, that it's like, yeah, you're actually holding on to that childlike part of you that is maybe more like, what would you say? Like it's more immediate, like you're not like pushing the weird stuff away. You're like embracing your inner, like the inner weird thoughts, and like, wow, what if or just even the experimental kind of like, what would it sound like if I hit the stick on that rock 10 times, but at the same rate, or whatever. And I think a lot of people are like, why would I do that? I don't have any interest in that. Okay, how are we making money out of this? Like, can we go somewhere and figure out how I can get a better house?
Yeah. Again, people, you do need to live somewhere. I love that you sent me a clip on Instagram of a professor, I think somewhere in the 50s or 60s, talking about why Sun Ra was incredible, and why it was okay for him to walk around in capes and smile.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It's amazing. And that kid just going, I thought it was pretentious. Like I went to watch and I'm like, does he need a cape? Does he need, like, it just made me feel uncomfortable for him or something like that. And the guy's like, he's been doing this for 40 years. He changed the whole genre of jazz. All of his guys are playing for 15 minutes before he even walks on stage. Of course he gets to wear a cape. He gets to do whatever he wants.
He can be king. Like, why does he walk around like a king or something? He just smiles. It's like he does that not because he's got a contract with a record company. He does that because he's been doing this for 40 years. And he
knows he's the king.
Yeah. And he's hearing a band perform his compositions.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I mean, that's pure bliss. And
it's
not about making money, and it's not about, living in a fancy mansion or driving fancy cars. That's not why he's smiling. He's smiling because he loves music.
Yeah.
He's loved music for his whole life, and he's suffered for it. And he's been broke.
Yeah. And he's been doing this forever, and finally people are listening. And all the musicians have been telling him he's great this whole time, but finally the audience, there's an audience that's also listening. And to watch those kids, they're all like buttoned up. They all have, it was like I don't know, it was the 50s, 60s. And they were all just like these buttoned up, like college kids and sitting in desks, and they're all kind of laughing. Like you can just tell that there's a like, yeah, but jazz is supposed to be like guys in a black suit with a tie, and it's very academic, and we're talking about time signatures, and he's like, we're wearing capes and summoning the gods in the earth. And
I'll give credit to it. It's the account was the Jazz Library, and the professor's Jackie McLean. And it's from the documentary Jackie McLean on Mars, directed by Kenneth Lewis, 1980. It's incredible. Yeah. So Jackie McLean awesome. Talking about Sun Ra to his class. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love that. I love that. I love, and I think even as I'm getting older, I'm understanding weirdness a little more. Like that I
In
was
everything.
always, well, I think that for me, I was the opposite of you, that in I had no interests. Like when I went to college, I was not into, I liked listening to music, but I hadn't really played in a band. I played guitar a little bit, but I always felt a little weird because like all these the cool punk kids and all that stuff. I was like, I don't know, this kids seem like they're on a whole different planet than me, and I didn't really get it. And until I went to college, and there was just, it just happened to be 1993 in Eastern Washington.
A good time to
So
be in
there was
Eastern
just
Washington.
a lot of music coming through town, and we'd just gone through all Seattle, everything, and Melvins would come through. It's just like you had all these things, and I was like, oh wait, this is okay. This is accessible. I don't feel weird now. I'm like,
It literally came from your backyard.
yeah,
Oh,
and
I get it. Cool.
like I
grunge.
get it, and I kind of got it from skateboarding, but even then, I was like 80s skateboarding. I wasn't like
That's
when
a whole
it was
different scene.
punk, but it was still, everything was like bright and neon and all that stuff. Like, and I missed the early 90s when skateboarding got cool and the wheels were so tiny.
Yeah.
And then I came back into it,
but that was very
wheels were still a
underground.
little
I think
tiny.
the whole industry sort of imploded and went underground.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge thing. That was
Yeah.
all part of it.
But then having all those people, and having a roommate that was like really into, whatever, every weird punk 7-inch, like worrying about the colors of the vinyl and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So hearing every week or every couple weeks, a new 7-inch would show up, and then another roommate that was fully into Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh, that's cool.
100%. And I'd never heard of them or anything. But, at the same time, Snoop and Dr. Dre and the whole West Coast was sampling all that stuff.
Sure.
So he's like, oh, this is from this song. This is like an interpolation of that
That's
song.
the only way to explain
this.
A sample is, oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Okay, hold on. I have that record. Yeah.
It has to start with that first inflection.
Totally. But then hearing all that, and I'm like, I don't even know what is that? Okay. Funk music and this music. And then all that, at that same time, like I think you and Ella talked about it. It's like then Red Hot Chili Peppers are playing, and they're and you're hearing all of their influences, all that funk and jazz, and you're realizing like, oh yeah, it's just like, it really is a bunch of weirdos getting together. And then somehow like certain groups, then you just get this click and you go to that show and go, oh, I've never felt anything like this. Like, that's just like, what is this feeling? And I feel like that is what then focused me. And then I had a friend that took photos, and I was like, how's that work? And he kind of showed me a little bit, and I got like $100 Konica camera used for my birthday one year. And then it was like, oh, right, you can also just be the person that takes pictures of everybody doing cool stuff. You don't even have to do the cool stuff necessarily. You kind of
stand
like,
by them with the light.
You have to be
the camera.
Yeah, you know how to work this weird little machine.
Yeah, well, it's a funny one, right? About being the weirdo and like how to be weird so that you're unique, but not so weird that you don't fit within a community or a group of some kind.
Yeah.
I think that took me a long time to sort of understand that sort of balance of belonging yet standing apart. And I think that's such a huge part of like that era of, teens into your 20s, and especially within like a subgenre or subculture of whatever, it's like, it's very unspoken. It's not only till later that I could see like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, you got to fit in, but you got to stand out. And, it's the kind of catch-22 of anything. And really what that means is, be yourself. But when you're insecure and not confident, you're like, well, who am I? What does that mean? Like, people would say that like it was supposed to mean something. Like, that's what that's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find myself. I don't know what myself is. So that's why I'm going to all these different shows and wearing all these weird clothes. And, that's why I have.
And then sometimes you find out yourself is annoying. And you have to fix stuff.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's what I found out too, like multiple times. And I'm like, why isn't this working? And then someone's like, all right, dude, that's kind of what you just did. That's annoying. Don't do that anymore. Like,
that's just being myself.
Thanks for telling. No one's ever told me.
Yeah.
No one's ever told me before.
Yeah.
And then you stop doing that thing and you're like, oh, it worked. I was annoying. Wow. I never realized I was annoying. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Perfect. Check the box.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I would push Mongo with like my foot on, my foot on the back trucks versus on the front trucks. No one ever said anything. Like we didn't know there was a right way or wrong way to do it. And then, years later or a year later or whatever, and someone told me like, yeah, don't do that. I was like, but I like it. It's cool. Like, it's not cool.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Fix that.
No one's gonna like you're never gonna be a good skater pushing that way. It's like, the other way's scary. Like, yeah, it's skateboarding. That's what you do. Like, okay.
No matter what, no matter how good you are, if you ever watch someone like even back then when people would go switch and then they'd push Mongo switch because that was with their normal foot.
Right.
And then eventually even people were like, yeah, even the best skaters in the world, when they go switch and they push that way, it looks so awkward. And so then everybody's just learned how to push with their other foot. Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah. No, it was definitely an eye-opening thing. But it's there's another joke. It's like always just be yourself. Unless you can be Prince. Then be Prince. or to substitute anyone else's name in that. Like, right. It's good advice for the kids. Always be yourself. Right. Unless you could be someone cooler than you, then be them.
Yeah.
Be the cooler
Unless
person.
Yourself is unlikable, then figure out who you should be and try to emulate them.
Fix that. Yeah. Fake it so you make it for a while. That's okay too. Exactly. As important as it is to be yourself, it's also very important to be cool and be liked by everybody. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Being a part of something. And I feel like that is, I think it does get a bad rap sometimes of like, oh, you're just trying to be cool. And like, well, but you're also learning, you're also learning whatever cool means in your group of thing. Like even in the nerdiest group of nerds, there's always cool kids, right? Like there's always cool kids in every single group of and usually it's like, it really is figuring out just how things work and going, okay, do I want to be a part of this or do I not want to be a part of this? And like, how cool do I want to be? Because if I want to be the coolest, then I'm going to probably be a horrible person.
Well, I think the thing I've always had a harder time with that, with the idea of, quote unquote cool, is I think it always reflected more to context and like your place in time. Right. Where I feel like so much of the stuff I was enjoying so many of like the rabbit holes I'd fall down really were unincorporated to like what was cool now or what was interesting to contemporary culture or subculture, whatever I was part of. I just enjoyed the general scope of things and could kind of see the like, well, hey, this is what used to be. This was cool and this comes from here. This was cool and this comes from there, and kind of seeing an eclectic version of it. So then to see like, well, yeah, but everybody here does this, and I was always like, I don't give a fuck what everybody here does, for better or worse. Sometimes I would definitely like, stand out. I remember Dean telling me at one point, like, we were going to play South by Southwest and we're going to be kind of, seen by more people. He's like, you should probably buy some tighter pair of jeans. I'm like, oh, yeah, is that a thing? Because I just wore kind of like whatever night. I think I had the same style I had, at like freshman year, like t-shirts and kind of baggy jeans or whatever, Dickies and skate shoes. It just sort of that just felt comfortable. Like that was fine. Maybe flannel if it got cold. But then he's like, just giving you the heads up. I'm like, okay. So I remember I went to like a thrift store, not one of those vintage stores over on Melrose. Yeah. And like bought like a $40 pair of jeans used. And I was like, oh man, these are expensive. I was like, I think they look more like Joey Ramone or like Andy Reynolds or something. Yeah. I was like, okay, all right. I was told this is what I should be wearing. I think it
Yeah,
worked. It worked. I mean, he styled me. I needed someone to tell me what to do. Again, it's that kind of thing of like, yeah, don't do that. That's annoying. Like,
we used to go get girls' jeans from Forever 21.
I had always heard that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Because the boys' jeans weren't
the Joey Ramone stretchy ones.
Tighten up or whatever. They were expensive. Like if you wanted that look, then you're like, you have to buy your $100 pair of new skinny jeans, whatever. And then you're like, no, just go get the $30 like size 10 women's jeans at Forever 21 and you're good. They're cheap. They're cheap and they fit and whatever.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, that was the story with like Andrew Reynolds, why they started Altamont Apparel, because he was, I think, doing that same sort of thing. That was that, style of the early aughts and Baker and Piss Drunks thing. And so, but he was just getting girls like stretchy jeans and wearing them. And then I think Crew, that other company, Crew with a K, K-R-E-W, they started making something like that. And he was wearing those. And then Soltech was like, wait, Andrew's like our biggest skater. He sells the most shoes. Why is he wearing anything from our competitor? Like we need to have our own like in-house apparel brand. So that's when they started that Altamont apparel company. That's
funny.
And it made sense
amazing
for them. But yeah, but again, that was part of it too. Like after a while, Justin, who was a friend of a friend and who started Altamont with Andrew, he would just give us like a box of like every season. I was like, oh, this is great. Just a company, just like, but it felt very friendly. But it was also like Andrew, or I think growing up, I respected and was like Andrew was a hero, skateboarding wise, and so I thought that was fine. It was cool. I didn't feel like it was such a salad move. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is like a cool company. And then Justin was also a friend, but it was also, I think Justin wanted us to go take it on tour and like just destroy it and then come back and report like how easy were these to destroy. And I'd come back from tour with like blown out holes in the pants. And, it was kind of felt like there was some sort of like demoing of it. Like
you were doing R&D.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to destroy all these clothes. So I was like, okay, that was nice. It was a nice way for him to put it.
That's awesome. But it is a trick
that for years.
It is a tricky thing when you're doing something that is like facing like that's, what do you call it? Like you're doing something and there's an audience involved that is involved like with art or with music or anything, that you do have to at least look like you're trying. Even if
maybe that's what I got wrong.
Even you're looking like you're trying. Even if the looking like you're trying means that you're trying to look like you're not trying.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
some intention has to be made.
Yeah. I don't care, but I also have the 5 things I always wear because I know that this is what it looks like to not care. Right? Like, I don't care, but I care enough to know that these are the things that look good when I'm not caring.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever. And
you can not care, but you still have to look good. So as long as you're wearing something that makes you look good, that's the right version. The not caring, but you don't look good, that doesn't fly.
I'm still not showing, like you're still not going to show up in like purple bell bottoms because it was like, I don't know, it's the first thing on the rack that I saw. Like, no,
I guess not until that's the style.
Yeah, well, someday, hopefully, because I have a pair waiting for me, just sitting.
You could wear those.
I haven't grown out of them yet.
I watched a great behind the scenes documentary on Randy Macho Man Savage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was on Amazon.
Wow.
And but they were talking about like at some point in the 80s, Hulk Hogan introduced him to his like wardrobe person or his like stylist or tailor.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that would dress pimps in Miami or in northern Florida. It was his job to, and so I guess Randy Macho Man Savage really liked what he was doing. And so it was like, he would dress, with all the neon tassels and the boots because I guess when he first showed up, they interviewed the stylist guy too. And when he first showed up, it was just underwear with like Macho Man and like a couple stars on his like underwear. Yeah. He's like, I need more of a canvas. He's like, there's not enough canvas here. I can't do this with just trunks. You need full. So then from there, they started wearing full long-legged pants and a big jacket and a hat.
Yeah.
The glasses. He's like, I need more canvas here. Put all this stuff on so then I can dress you and make you look good. And that one guy was responsible for all of those looks.
Oh yeah. Is there any part of the documentary where he talks as a non-macho man?
No. So they talked to his brother.
Out of character?
This was made now. So it was, he's already passed away. But they talked
I
to his
mean,
brother
was there
about
any
where the
footage
voice came from. No, not really. He was kind of mellower.
That's
I think.
amazing.
But they said eventually he just adopted that, where he just talks like that all the time in real life and could dial it
So
up
even
and
when
dial
he
it
was
down. Yeah.
wow.
But the brother said that they were putting it together because the dad was a wrestler, and then Randy tried to go become a baseball player, and then he like made it all the way to the majors or minor leagues, and then
Wow.
got rejected, got fired. And then so from there, then he went into the family business of wrestling, and he had the savage parts like Randy Savage, and they were trying to think of people they knew who were wild and savage, what characters in the wrestling world. And there was one guy, I forget what his name was, but he had a big like, oh yeah, like he was like a big like wild man, but he would say it like that. So then Randy adopted the whole thing and made it, and it was cool thing. We got the fingers, man. Oh
He
yeah,
might be
number one.
Might be the number one character
of
in
Western
all
of the
wrestling.
last 100 years.
Yeah, because you could just see it in like you could see it in your mind, like even when you were doing that, and I'm like, yeah, and he's got his fingers, and then you said like, and he just had this, like he was just trying to get, he was like
about to explode,
taking energy in and trying to
quiet,
slowly push it out, man. Here we go, Hulk Hogan, because he always was like,
it was the simmer.
He had that. Yeah, but it was never like he would kind of maybe explode, but he never really, like, it was almost like he was always holding it in.
Yes.
Always
right.
like,
yeah, the great simmer.
That frustrated voice, brother. I'm gonna, but it was always like super slow and like, it comes like it was like a revving, like a
revving engine,
like it was in like first, second, third gear only.
He never took
off. And then he would go, and then he would start back up. There was a lot of stop signs in the road. He'd get up to third, and then he like
open it up to fourth. Yeah.
And I
so true.
Tell you, Vince McMahon.
It's great.
He got real quiet.
Such a character.
Oh my god, he's so great.
He invented all of that himself. With the help of some
I gotta
tailors.
watch this.
It's great. There's a whole series, I think, on a number of WWE celebrities, but yeah, it's amazing. There was a great documentary on Jake the Snake a few years ago, like a full length one. That's incredible.
I've watched part of that.
Getting sober.
Yeah.
Everything.
And now he's doing all sorts of like, he does like stuff for
fan
kids
and yeah. That story is amazing. But they just talked to a lot of the wrestlers too, and just how they're just broken. They're become old men, and then just bodies are done, and they're all fucked up from steroids and from all the drugs and alcohol, and just not taking care of themselves. And then you reach that age, and they're just fucked.
I mean, back then they were doing like 300 shows a year.
Yeah,
minimum,
the ones you didn't
right?
see on TV. It wasn't all WrestleManias. It was a bunch of little, mom and pop shows, small things.
I mean, because I remember when they would come through Spokane, like once or twice a year, and there would. I never went though. Did you ever go?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever go to like?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, brother.
I saw one like Monday one, like a regular one at the sports arena here in downtown LA, where it's the BMO Center now. But I did a one regular one, and then one the WrestleMania. It's huge. I feel like I talk about this in every show.
Told me about this.
Yeah, it was great. Still
and then we started talking about the Iron Sheik, I think.
Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah,
or Sergeant Slaughter.
Exactly.
Yes.
This has become
Sergeant Slaughter versus the Iron Sheik, wasn't it?
How can every episode? No, Sergeant Slaughter versus Hulk Hogan.
Oh, right.
How can we make every episode?
He had gone to the side of the Iraqis
to WrestleMania. Exactly. Yes. Sometimes it's just as easy as, hey, I was watching some Randy Macho Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, brother. Oh my god, I love hearing those stories. I feel like, who was it that Jake the Snake? I heard a sit down interview with him. I don't know, years ago. It was probably on Joe Rogan or something. I don't know, but it was like his whole story, like just those stories of. Or where you hear the old stories, those guys that were around during the time of Andre the Giant.
Oh god!
And they all had the most insane. Like he would drink like 30 beers in a cab on the way to WrestleMania or whatever.
The beers were like the size of his fist. Like the beers would fit inside of his palm. He could just palm a beer. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great story. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger had a story that he um, Andre the Giant like picked Schwarzenegger up and put him on a cabinet because Arnold was gonna pay for the dinner. He's like, no, I pay. It's like, no, I insist, I pay. Like, no, and he like picked him up and put him on this high cabinet, and walked over and paid the bill, and then came back and brought him off like he was a doll.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Like when you're born that size and then you have like whatever personality he had, like that, you're just kind of born a king. Like it must be the craziest thing. You just walk around the world. You're 1.5 feet taller than everyone and you're massive. And then you're also famous. And it just must be like, I do what I want.
Yeah. Who's going to tell him no?
I'm going to wrestle. Then I'm going to be an actor. The Princess Bride, one of the best characters in all of comedy.
You want the peanuts?
Yes. So good. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I mean, yeah, his back was so fucked up even by that point. Like, you know, when he does the whole thing, we're supposed to be carrying him on his back when he climbs up the big cliff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He couldn't pick up his shoes. Andre the Giant by that point, his back was so like wrecked, like he could barely stand up just to walk like 2 feet. And so they have this whole thing where he's supposed to be carrying everybody, and they're all just on harnesses and like on pulleys and wedges and stuff. Like, he couldn't pick anything up. He was so broken by whatever that age was. He probably wasn't even, you know, in his 40s.
Yeah.
By then.
Wow.
A hard life.
Is there an Andre the Giant documentary?
I think so.
There should be, right?
I feel like I've seen something. I don't know where all these stories come from. They may have just been downloaded. If you were born in the the 1970s and the 1980s, you just had all of these stories living for free in your head.
Yes. Rent-free wrestling stories.
Never forget Andre the Giant stories. Like, okay, permanent memory. What's your kid's teacher's name? I don't know.
Yeah, no
but
idea.
you know about that one time Andre the Giant would drink a whole bottle of wine?
Yeah. Yep. And then also 30 beers.
Yeah.
Totally. That one got engraved.
Yeah, there's that great photo of him with Schwarzenegger and Wilt Chamberlain, I think, from Conan.
Yeah.
I think he's like still, again, like 4 feet taller than everybody, like picking him up.
Insane.
Yeah.
I do remember when I first moved to Portland and I was interviewing for photo assistant jobs. It was very weird because I didn't know anything. Again, I wanted to move to Portland because my friend Dan moved there, and I really wanted to go snowboarding a lot at Mount Hood. And that was pretty much it. I knew I wanted to maybe take photos of music, but I didn't think I knew any, you know. And so my sister-in-law now, Gina, was like, oh, go be a photo assistant. I'm like, how do you do that? Just call photographers and go and do interviews. And so I had called some photographers and they're like, yeah, come by. And I would come by. And then this photographer's showing me, who's like, well, we do a lot of stock stuff, but then in between when I'm shooting, you know, portraits of celebrities and other people. And he was showing me his book. And one of the photos in his book was Andre the Giant. It's a very famous photo back in the 80s, Andre the Giant holding his managers, I think, like two managers, but he's holding them in his hands next to him. Try to look it up.
Yeah.
Because I forget the name of the photographer. I never ended up working for him because I ended up working for someone else. But it was one of the times. It was right when I moved to Portland, and I didn't really know, you know, what commercial photography was, and I thought like, oh, this is like something so far away. And then when I saw that, and I had seen that photo before, and went, oh, these people, this is like a real job. These are like real. This is like a real, you know, when you see something, you're like, wait, that guy he was in the room with Andre the Giant.
Took that photo?
And he took that photo that I've seen before. And it was very like, it actually was one of those things that clicked with me of like, oh, I want to do that. I want to get in a room with Andre the Giant one day, which obviously I never did. But it was it was that like, oh, this is this person has really been in the room with like famous people or whatever, someone that I know of, and this person was there, and this is a real job, and like, okay, I think I can do this. This seems good. This seems fun.
Andre once again inspired you to achieve your dreams.
I'll try to find that.
Yeah.
Yes. Andre the Giant.
You can do anything you want to do.
Holding two people. Let me see if I can find it.
And again, another great one. Always be yourself unless you can be Andre the Giant. Then be Andre the Giant.
Yes.
I think I found one. Cool. All right. Well, that sounds like a good place to wrap up.
Awesome, man. Always with Andre the Giant. That's always a good closer.
It's always close with Andre the Giant.
Yes.
Why is this not working? I don't know. We'll end it here. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you everyone for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe and tell your friends. Everybody listen to us, leave a like and review. And what else do they do? Oh, write us a hyphenate halftime@gmail.com. You can find us on the Instagrams at Randy S. Randall, at Aaron Farley Photo. Is that the one I always tag you in, or just at Aaron Farley?
Just Aaron Farley.
Aaron Farley. With 14 A's.
Aaron Farley.
How many A's are in
7,000. 7,000 A's.
Okay. Perfect. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Be well.
Awesome.